Kali, the dark goddess of time, destruction, and rebirth, a force both feared and revered, cloaked in mystery and drenched in blood. Her name whispers through the winds of ancient India, echoing in the chants of devotees and the cries of the vanquished. She is the abyss that consumes all. Yet from her darkness, new life emerges. She is the eternal cycle, the end and the beginning. Kali, the creative deity of the universe, has existed in religious traditions since the dawn of time. She was once the GreatMother, a fertility goddess who promised abundance and nourishment. With generous breasts and ample hips, she embodied the earth's fullness, the provider of life and sustenance. But within her lay many faces, some tender, some terrifying. She is the cycle of creation and destruction, the eternal force of life. She was the devoted spouse and the fierce protector, the goddess of love and the harbinger of death. As time passed, her image evolved into something more primal, something darker. She became the goddess of war, the huntress of souls, the bringer of plague and pestilence, the insatiable consumer of blood, the shadow side of creation itself. Her presence was both feared and revered, a paradox of destruction and protection. The name Kali means black, not just in color but in essence. It signifies the profound depth and mystery that blackness holds. She is the personification of blackness itself, ruling over the dark forces of the cosmos, embodying the power and enigma of the night. Ancient civilizations from Egypt to Greece had their own black goddesses: Black Isis, revered for her wisdom and magic, Black Venus, symbolizing love and beauty, and Black Demeter, the goddess of the harvest and the cycle of life and death. But none embody the abyss as fully as Kali, the ultimate representation of the void. She is the dark void from which all things emerge, the cosmic womb of creation, and to which all things return. Kali is the eternal cycle of creation and destruction, the relentless force of nature. She is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega, the timeless essence of existence. Traditional depictions of Kali strike fear into the hearts of those who gaze upon her. Her form is both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a symbol of the raw power of the divine feminine. She is an emaciated hag, her complexion as dark as the night, embodying the mysteries and depths of the unknown. Her eyes bulge, red and bloodshot, as if forever trapped in a state of frenzy, reflecting the chaos and intensity of her nature. Her hair is wild and unkempt, cascading down like a dark, untamed river. Around her neck she wears a necklace of human skulls, and her girdle is strung with human teeth, symbols of her dominion over life and death. Blood drips from her long, protruding tongue, a reminder of her insatiable hunger for justice and destruction. Her feet are adorned with anklets, and worshippers bow at her feet in reverence, seeking her protection and blessings. In one hand she holds a severed head, in another a blood-stained sword, yet her other two hands are raised in blessing, offering protection to those who surrender to her. She is both the destroyer and the liberator. Kali embodies the duality of life and death, creation and destruction. Her fierce form is a reminder of the power of transformation and the cycle of rebirth. Throughout history, Kali's followers have offered blood sacrifices to appease her. In ancient times, this included human offerings. As recently as the 19th century, entire communities believed that human sacrifice would earn them her favor. The temple of Danteshwari, dedicated to the fanged goddess, once saw human heads placed at its altar. Today, most offerings are symbolic, but in certain places goats are still sacrificed in her honor. The essence of devotion remains, evolving with time. Among Kali's most feared worshippers were the Thugs, a secret society of stranglers who operated for centuries across India. The word thug comes from Sanskrit meaning to conceal, and conceal they did. Disguised as travelers and merchants, they befriended unsuspecting victims, only to strangle them in the dead of night. This was not murder, it was ritual, a sacred act of devotion to their dark goddess. Their faith was unwavering, their methods chilling. Legend tells of how Kali once battled a demon whose blood spawned new demons with every drop spilled. Each drop that touched the ground gave birth to a new, ferocious adversary, making the battle seem endless. Realizing the futility of her sword, she tore off a piece of her garment and strangled the demon instead. This act of desperation turned into a moment of divine inspiration. From this act, she ordained the thugs to continue her work. They became her earthly agents, carrying out her will with unwavering devotion. For centuries they killed in her name, until the British cracked down on their cult in the 19th century. The confrontation was fierce and marked the end of an era. But whispers of their dark rites remain. These whispers echo through time, hinting at the dark practices that once were. Ancient texts still speak of their deeds, shrouded in mystery and fear. These texts are filled with cryptic symbols and ominous warnings. Even today, some claim to follow her path, blending the ancient with the modern. They seek to keep her legacy alive in a world that has vastly changed. Despite her terrifying visage, Kali is still worshipped by millions in India today. To some, she remains the fierce mother who protects them from evil. To others, she is the cosmic force of destruction that makes way for new beginnings. Her presence is felt in festivals, rituals, and daily prayers, embodying both fear and reverence. In psychology, she represents the shadow self, the part of us we fear, yet must embrace. She is the darkness we must confront to truly understand ourselves. She is the force behind every fear, every moment of despair, every instance where fate seems cruel and unforgiving. To face her is to face our deepest fears, and in doing so we find our true strength and resilience. Kali is a paradox. She is terror and love, death and rebirth, chaos and wisdom. She is the cycle of existence itself, and whether we choose to worship her, fear her, or ignore her, she remains. Ever watching, ever waiting. She embodies the ultimate truth of life and death, a reminder of the eternal dance of the universe. Kali Ma, the GreatMother, embodying power and transformation. For more occult content, subscribe and like. Dive deeper into the mysteries.